Hi, Mani.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Can you hear us? Hello? You're mute, Mani, in case you're speaking.
Can you hear me, Michael?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so I'd like to introduce Aditya Mani, who is a Jira Service Management Product Manager at Atlassian, who will be taking us through JSM and some of the use cases. In the room, we have Atlassian Community Nairobi. And without further ado, please give him a round of applause. Thank you. The floor is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction, Michael. Thank you to all the Atlassian community leaders and to the community for also giving me the opportunity to speak today. And most importantly, thank you everyone in the room for attending this session. It's very exciting to see a lot of you, even though I'm seeing you virtually. I'm sure it's a lot more fun over there in person. Um, so as a quick, maybe a reintroduction of myself, my name is Aditya Mani. I am a product manager with Atlassian. I specifically work with the Jira service management product. And in today's session, I'm just going to take you through some fundamental concepts of Jira service management, what it does, how it can be implemented in your organizations. We will probably have like two sections of this session. The first section will have some level of theory where we'll go through some basic concepts, and in the second section we'll go through some hands-on demos as well. So with that, let me just quickly begin. I will also try to start sharing my screen. Okay. Yeah, okay. I am now sharing my screen. I hope everyone's able to see my screen. Okay, I saw a few heads nodding, so I'm assuming that my screen is visible. Um, okay, so maybe let's just quickly begin. I can see a bunch of folks in the room. So maybe by a show of hands, can anyone tell me if any of you have ever worked with this with a concept called a service desk or a help desk before? Folks in the room? Okay, I guess maybe not. So fantastic. So then I think this will be a good time for us to now start thinking about or trying to understand what these terms actually mean. So let's maybe start off with what is service management. Now, in before I joined Atlassian, I've had a lot of experience working in some other companies as well. My understanding of service management has always been that I pick up the phone or raise a ticket for my IT team to say that something's wrong with my laptop. Can you please fix it for me? And more often than not, whenever they used to give me some answers, and obviously this is more on a humorous note, um, I would obviously go to them, and my perception of them would be something like this. I'm just going to play a quick video. I hope you will also be able to hear the audio for it. So that has always been my perception before I joined Atlassian, that my IT team would only tell me to restart my computer all the time, or restart my devices or whatever else that we were working with to try and fix the problem. But obviously, as I have come to learn, and maybe a lot of you in the room also know, that there is a lot more to service management than just turning off and on your devices. So now, on a serious note, let's look at what actually service management means in the industry. So let's begin with that example once again, where you go to your IT team saying that I need help with my laptop. Can you please help me out here? So imagine you are this person. You reach out to the IT person. Maybe you go to their desk. It's a small company. You go to their desk with your laptop, saying, hey, something's wrong. Can you please help me out? They will instantly look at your laptop. They probably know what is wrong because it's a small company and they know exactly what problems can happen, and then they give you a very very quick fix. Now imagine this same small company when it becomes a bit bigger. There are a lot more people who are now going in and giving their laptops to the IT person for help, and they want their laptops repaired. So essentially, what happens is that now, if there is just one person, and if they don't really have a good record of all the laptops that have been given out, and also they are just inundated with a lot of different requests, they then get confused and they are not able to serve their end users very well. And that's probably where there is this concept called a help desk or a help center form, which comes into play. And I'm sure a lot of you might have seen this in your organizations as well, which will help streamline a lot of these kind of requests. So now imagine that same scenario where you have 20 users in a day coming to that IT team saying, I need help with my laptop. What they will essentially do is that now they will not go up to the person to say, can you please help me out with it? They will essentially go and create these requests in a form. That form will now maybe create some sort of a queue of tickets for the IT agent to look at. And that is when they will be able to go in and check out all of these tickets one by one and give a resolution to each of those items. And now, as a lot of technology has progressed and a lot more integrations have come in the market, these users are now not only able to raise these requests from within a form, but also via chat tools like Slack or MS Teams, and even via email. And now, when we think of the world of service management, it has actually gone far beyond the concept of just an internal co-op IT team. Today, when we look at any organization, we believe that any team is actually a service team, because these service teams are basically the teams that are giving help to other teams and other individuals. Like, for example, you might go to the engineering team to say that some internal tool is broken. Can you please help me fix it? You might go to the security team to say that there was a security breach, probably some unidentified people entered our building the other day. Can you please help us there? You go to a legal team with some new legal requirements in that we're trying to launch a new feature. Can you help us with some of the compliance and legal requirements for it? And so on and so forth. And that way, you can probably imagine that all these teams that you see in front of you are essentially service teams. And these are just some examples of the kind of questions that are tackled by these service teams. I need a budget approval for a travel expense. I want to run a targeted marketing campaign. Can you please help me out with it? I want to get a contract review. Can we book a room for an event? All of these are requests that probably span various different domains and various different functions, but all of them are essentially a question that you ask some sort of a service team, and that service team responds to you with some answers. And that is exactly where Jira Service Management comes in and plays a role in trying to bridge this gap and trying to provide a solution for such service teams, um, wherein you can create your own customized help desk, and we'll go through this in our demo section as well. You are also able to create Slack channels where people can come in and raise requests via Slack. They don't even need to go to a portal nowadays. You can just raise a request directly from within Slack. And essentially, where Jira Service Management plays a really big role or does really well is that it's easy to configure, it is quick to set up, and because it is on top of the Jira platform, it also helps bring together the dev and the ops worlds. So now when you think about Jira Service Management, it basically caters to three separate use cases. The three use cases are one of what we already discussed, which was the service desk use case. The other is something that we call the IT operations use case, where you can look at your alerts, your on-call schedules, your incidents, and so on and so forth. And the third one is assets. I will just very quickly maybe talk about the IT operations use case also, because there might be some of you in the room who are probably working in IT teams or software development teams today. So imagine, so now we just maybe going into one more graphical story here. Imagine you are now launching a new website for your company. You've done a lot of good work. You've built this website. It is something that your customers were also asking for, and it will help increasing your revenue. Now obviously any website or any web service requires physical servers or virtual servers on which to run. They could be either in your data center or they could be in the cloud. Within this scenario, you've just ensured that because your website will get a lot of traffic, you are evenly distributing all the traffic between three different servers. So now you've launched the website and your first customer comes in. When the first customer comes in, they are able to look at the website, and they are able to get everything that they want. Now, slowly and steadily, as your marketing also increases, more number of customers come in, and essentially what now starts happening is that with 100, 10,000, 1 million, 10 million customers coming in, essentially what happens is that the traffic of this website is now spread out between three different servers. But here is where something goes wrong. What happens is that one of your servers goes down and is not able to serve your web traffic anymore, which means that now 1/3 of your customers are not able to see this website anymore. And that is resulting in frustration for your customers because they are not able to see the website, they're not able to access your product. It also is leading to a revenue loss for you, because now if customers are not seeing your product, they're also probably your payment gateway is down and they're not able to make purchases on your website. And then eventually this all boils down to some sort of a blame game now that that starts happening in a lot of different organizations. And all of this happened just because we could not catch the issue in time. And so now basically a question is, now that we face this problem, we need to do better from the next time. So the question is, how could we have prevented this? How can we prevent this going forward? So maybe let's just think of some sort of a fairy tale scenario where you have some sort of watcher which is watching all of your servers and all of the services in them. And basically the job of these watchers is to say that the moment something goes wrong, the watcher will immediately call somebody from your development team or from your IT team to come in and fix that problem as soon as it is raised, so that the moment the fix happens and everything is back online again, your customer traffic and your business can run uninterrupted. And that essentially is the world of monitoring and alerts, which is essentially the IT ops section that I was talking about. Now, if I just maybe lay this out in the form of a schematic diagram, you will probably have a software or a hardware system. You'll have a monitoring observability tool, and you'll have an alerting tool, which will go then raise some notifications for your on-call responder. So basically your hardware system or your software system will throw an alert to the observability tool or to the watcher that you are talking about, which will then go and create an event for an alerting tool, which will then go and create an alert for the on-call responder. Now, some of the examples of these observability tools are Datadog, New Relic, and probably 200 other such tools. But there can still be just one tool on the alerting side that maintains all your on-call rosters as well, that helps bring in traffic and bring in alerts from these different tools into one on-call team. So basically many systems, many observability tools, but you can still have one alerting tool here. Now I'll just quickly move on to the third section, which is the assets section. Assets is also generally known as CMDB or configuration management database. So let me try to paint a very quick picture here as well. What does it actually do? Assets is nothing but just a digital inventory of everything within your organization. It keeps track of everything in your office, in your tech stack, within your people, within your services, and also forms relationships between all of them. Now, let's see why is it actually helpful. So this is a third story, a third quick story that we'll just jump into right now. Assume you have somebody from the marketing team who reaches out to the help desk to say that my laptop keeps crashing whenever I launch Zoom. So now this help desk agent is immediately on the job and wants to solve this problem as soon as possible. But in order to solve the problem, he first wants a lot of information about what has actually gone wrong. So then his first question is, what model is your laptop? And then the marketing person responds. The second question is, what OS are you using? The marketing person responds again. The third question is, have there been any recent changes or software installs on your laptop? The marketing person responds again. And then okay, say, sorry, and then he says, okay, do you have admin rights? Can we maybe do a screen share and I take control of your screen? What is your device ID? Because that will help me understand when your laptop was purchased and whether it is under warranty or not. Now, this entire process has probably taken 5 to 10 minutes and is probably a very frustrating experience for the marketing person also, because they have to keep giving answers for some things that the help desk agent probably should have already known. And that is exactly where assets comes in. So we just spoke about how assets is that one digital inventory of everything that happens in an organization and basically keeps track of everything there. So in this scenario again, if the help desk agent already has assets and the marketing person says, hey, my laptop keeps crashing, what do I do? Immediately this person will go and enter this person's either name or employee ID, and he will understand that, okay, this marketing person had this laptop make and model, this was the OS version, this was the installed software, and a bunch of other information that is readily available to him. So now maybe within the first minute itself, the help desk agent has all the information that he needs, and now he can very very quickly give some sort of a response to his end user, and that is just maybe say the beginning of trying to understand what the power of assets is. um, so this is just a screenshot from a live instance that we have internally. As you can see, it is very simple to. Sorry, we'll go into how simple it is, but then it is you are able to now create an entire list and inventory of everything within our organization, like domains, networks, racks, even things like mobile phones, Android devices, Apple devices, and laptops, and a bunch of other things. And you can also go and configure references to say what is related to what. In that example, we would have created a reference, something like that marketing person is related to this device and this laptop device is related to these configurations of that device. And you also have these very nice graphical interfaces where you are able to see all these various relationships. So now let's jump to the more exciting part of this session. Maybe let's now start looking at some demos and how to actually get started with JSM. Before we go there, I just want to pause and see if there are any questions. I'd be happy to answer them now or maybe even answer them later on. Okay, I'll just move on for now. Oh, sorry, was somebody saying something? That the room is on mute, so I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have a question right now.
Okay, okay, fantastic. Yeah, thank you for that confirmation, Michael. Okay, so firstly, let's see how to get started with Jira Service Management. And this is something that any of you within your organization and every single one of you within your within that room can do today. All you need to do is just go to the Atlassian.com page, go to the navigate to the Jira Service Management product, and within the plans and pricing page, you see these different plans. I will recommend that you get started with the premium edition because it gives you a lot more features, and just start a free trial. This is like literally a 2-minute process. Just enter your email address and get started. You don't need to add any payment details as well. You can always cancel this trial whenever you want. But this basically gives you a very nice introduction to what Jira Service Management does. Now, the first thing you will notice when you log into Jira Service Management or you purchase a new instance of Jira Service Management is that you will be asked to create a project. Now, that project can be of various different types, and in this in this kind of interface, you will see some help to actually get started with these projects. Again, my recommendation would be to start with this, go to the service management section and select the general service management template over here. And now when you click on the use template button over here, the next screen you see will be just some very basic information that will be asked of you. So I just created a project a few hours before this event, where I created a project called the Nairobi community event with some basic information like team type, channel access, and actually it got cut in the screenshot, but there's a button right here below that says, okay, now let me get started. And once we get started, and I'll now we'll switch to a live instance as well, where I'll show you all of these things. But I just want to try and maybe emphasize here that it is very, very simple to get started with a service management project of your own. All you need to do is come and configure these 5 steps. So with that, I'll stop the presentation mode and just maybe jump to the actual product. So, okay. So when you log into Jira Service Management, this is essentially what you'll see. My screen is probably a bit busier than what you will see within your fresh instances. Actually, let me zoom in a bit in case it's not very visible to everyone. Yeah. So you're just think that my screen is probably a bit busier than all your screens because obviously I think this is like my test instance and I've created a lot of different demo and dummy data in this. But when you come in here, as I said, you'll probably see this this project. So now when you just expand this project, you will see a bunch of other a bunch of other information here as well. Now, the first thing for that I will recommend that you do is that you try and understand the layout of this page. This page is essentially everything that you as the service management team will see or your agents will see. So in case a request comes in, you'll start seeing all those requests over here. Now let us very quickly try and see what your end customers will see. So when you want to see that, just scroll down a bit, you see this tab called channels. When you click on this, you will see these options. Channels is nothing but the way through which your end users can come and create requests for your teams. So in this particular case, there are many different options, but just for the sake of convenience for this demo, I'm going to look at the portal option. So when I click on open over here, what it does is that it opens a ready-made portal for me. Now, even though this was a pre-created project coming in, but I just want to say that all of these things have come out of the box with the project template that you created. And this is essentially the screen that your end users will now start seeing. So let us now first start looking at what these are actually, right? So if now say, let me just change the persona a bit and say I am the end user. Let me try to raise a request. In fact, let me just change my browser and try to get that in. So yeah, so just so that we're looking at the colors as well. The blue browser is the browser for the agent team, and the purple browser is the browser for your end users. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm just going to say, hey, I have a question. So my question will be something like maybe what is the process to acquire I don't know, maybe budget for a office trip. So I'll just maybe raise this very simple question, paste that same thing in the description here, and click on send. So now, as the end user, and my end user's name is John Doe, what I instantly see is that my request has been raised, and I also get a bunch of other information like what is the status, and when was this raised, and if any comments come, I will start seeing them here. So let us just very quickly switch to the view of the agent. Now, when I go into the agent view, I'm just going to refresh the screen. Yes, I see that question has now come up here. So now essentially this is what your agent starts seeing, and I also see that this has been reported by John Doe at 12 July with maybe some SLAs as well. So now let me just very quickly go to understanding, or maybe trying to explain to you what, how this actually happened. These groups of questions that you see here are what we call as request types. Submit a request or an incident is a request type, and ask a question is a request type. As I was just mentioning, these are the request types that were given out of the box with the template that we created, and you didn't have to put in any effort to show these up. But what if you want to customize this? What if you want to add more request types here? So maybe an example could be I want to add something for understanding HR benefits, right? So let me just quickly show you how we can do that as well. It's again very simple. I just go to the project settings. When I go to the project settings, I see something called request types. When I click on request types, I see that the request types that are already created have been shown here. Now let me create that request type. Um, I'm forgetting what I had just mentioned. Yeah, maybe let me just say questions for HR benefits, like right, human resource HR, and just maybe the HR employee benefits. And let me just change the icon here as well, maybe something that's a bit more representative. I don't know what a good HR logo could be, but yeah, maybe this is it. And just select general because I should be on the portal. And I also see a very nice preview on the right hand side to tell me what this will look like. So let me just click on add very quickly. And the next thing I see is, okay, what fields do I need to have within that request type? Summary is one field that we saw. Maybe I want to add something like employee ID. Oops, I'm just spelling this wrong. Yeah. So I just drag and drop the employee ID here, and that will be that will show up here. And let me just click on quick changes. Obviously, in a real environment, you can add as many fields as you want, but just for this demo, I'm trying to show you how simple it is by adding one field here, and then I click on save changes. Right, so now I get a confirmation that my request type has been updated. Now I'll just simply switch back to the portal and refresh the portal, and you will see that a new request type has been created called questions for HR employee benefits. Okay, sorry. There might be some typos here. I apologize for that. But essentially, so now if I click on this as the end user, I also see the two fields that I had put in, right? Which was one was summary and the other is employee ID. So maybe I just say, hey, what are my employee benefits? Actually, how many vacation days do I get in a year? Very legitimate question. And maybe my employee ID is something like P123 or something, and I click on send. Right? Oh, sorry, I should have probably done this through my other profile, sorry, my other account, but still, I think you will get the idea here. At the moment I do that, yeah, I see that this has come up here, and that essentially now helps me structure all the requests coming in. And even in the previous scenario where different people were coming with different kind of requesting that my laptop has broken, I'm not able to launch Zoom, you can actually structure these requests by very nicely saying these are the exact kind of information that I need from you. Please enter all of this information, that is when it will make sense for me to give you an answer. Um, so now I just want to maybe quickly move on to the agent side of things, right? So we've spoken about the customer and what that looks like for the end user. But now for an agent, let me maybe just jump to this question here and try to see what I can do. So I see that John Doe has raised this via the portal, and there is no assignee. So let me firstly assign this to myself, and now this has gotten assigned to me. What I will probably now need to do is say maybe give some sort of an internal note saying that here is the process document, and maybe I just link something here. I don't really have a document at the moment. I'll just link that here, and I click on save, and this has now gone to the customer. At this point, because the status is currently at to do, I will also change the status to say that it's been started and it is in progress, which is currently me. And I will also say something like, are you happy with the response I gave? Can I close this ticket now? Right. Now let me just quickly jump to the view that the end user will see, and that user will also start seeing this. I see that my request status has changed to in progress. Okay, actually I made a small mistake here. I I added everything as an internal note. Let me just change this to reply to customer. Now here is the process document, and I'll just copy this text again to reply to customer saying that are you happy with this one again? Can I close this ticket now? Right, so I just go back here and refresh the screen. And now what John Doe, who is my help seeker or my end user in this case, he's able to come to this portal and instantly get all the updates. So it's not like I need to go back to the to the help agent all the time asking, hey, what is the update? What is the update? When can I get an update on this request? I get all the updates very nicely within this screen. So I get the process update. I see that, hey, are you happy with this response? I see that question. I then as the end user say, I am happy with the response. You may close this ticket. Okay, fantastic. And I send this out. So now just again going back to the to the help desk agent screen, I am able to see this. So I can say that, okay, now let me just close this and mark this as done. And I just maybe mark this resolution as it's done. Maybe the reason is something like, I was able to help the help seeker and I update. And this essentially from start to end is the entire life cycle of this ticket. Now, this was a very, very simplistic flow, a very simplistic workflow where it starts from the initiation of the ticket to the ticket going to in progress, and then finally the in progress ticket going to done. And let us just look at that workflow as well. All of this, I do want to maybe remind everyone that I did not go and customize anything within Jira Service Management. Everything has come out of the box, and this is everything that is, say, maybe an out of the box feature set. So just trying to say again that it's very simple to get started with the entire help desk functionality. But also, it's not like you are stuck with these features. You can now go and customize this however you want. Maybe I see this and maybe I figure that I also want a status that says declined, right? Because maybe I don't want to go and say yes to all sorts of requests. So that can be very easily done from this editor here. So I just go and click on edit workflow, and it just opens this screen for me. So yeah, actually I had added this. Let me remove this earlier. Yeah, so basically the editor will sorry. Uh, yeah, sorry. Coming back to the idea, right? So now in this workflow, what I want to try and do is I want to try and add a decline status. So how will I do that? Is again very simple. I go and click on add status, and maybe call it is there a decline? Yeah, there's a decline, and I click on add. So there is a status called decline now, but where can I transition this from? So right, which of these statuses can actually move into this status? So let obviously there are a lot of flexibility for you. You can do whatever you want, but let me try and just maybe build it this way that I can go to declined only if I am in progress first. So I maybe mark this as mark as declined, add and done. So now this is my new workflow, wherein it can start from to do, go into in progress, and then from in progress it can either go to decline or to done. Let me just quickly show you what that might look like. Uh, let's publish this. Okay, super. I'm going back to my viewing page here, and I'll probably go to another uh, ticket. So let me just this was which was the other one that we created. Yeah, how many vacation days do I get in here? This was one that we created. So when I go from to do, I can go to in progress, and now from in progress, I can either go to done or I can go to decline. So this is essentially that customization that I was talking about. And if I just maybe click on decline, it just means that now I will not work on this issue. So that again is a very, very simple way to edit your workflow within Jira Service Management. Just trying to review this. So we spoke about how you can configure your customer portal. We saw how we can set up your request types. We saw how we can review your workflows. Now let's maybe look at what you can do for assigning user roles. Because obviously, if you set up an entire help desk project, you also want your service team members to be able to come and look at these tickets. So that you'll again find within project settings. Oh, I think I've zoomed out. Let me zoom in again. I just go to access, I go to people and access, and I see that there are already two agents here. Maybe I want to add one more agent. And that person is my friend Sally Brown. And now I can add this person either as an administrator, a customer, or as a team member. I just select team member, and that is again like a very, very simple way how I can now give access to Sally. And finally, SLAs. So SLAs are something called as are basically service level agreements, right? Which is a contract, an implicit contract that you're signing with your customers to say how soon will we respond and how soon will we resolve your issues. And that is again a very simple thing to do from within this page. You can set SLAs for various different kind of things that it says that if the ticket is a high priority, maybe you try to resolve it within 12 hours. If it is a low priority, it's okay for you to maybe do it within 48 hours or 60 hours. And all of these come out of the box with JSM, and it's just very simple for you to do from a manual process as well. So all of what I just showed right now has been around in Jira Service Management for a while, and this is all probably very standard service desk kind of capabilities that most of you might have seen in within your organizations. But even if you've not, it's again I think we did this like within say 15 minutes. We are able to complete the entire setup and the implementation of these help desks that quickly. But now with the advent of AI, right, a lot of things are currently on AI. Maybe you will come and say, I don't even want a ticket to be looked at by a human agent. I want AI to come and solve all my tickets so that I can free up my human agents to probably do something else apart from just answering questions. So there is something called a virtual service agent that is present in Jira Service Management. So if you basically come to the help center, let me just quickly show you what it will look like for an end user, and then I'll take you through the configuration of this as well. This is basically the help center for your entire Jira Service Management instance. And maybe my question is something like, what is your relocation policy? I want to move from say maybe Sydney to Mumbai. So I'll just press enter there. And now as the end user, instead of creating a ticket, what's happening is that the AI that's running in the background and is also going through all the knowledge base articles that you stored within Jira Service Management will be generating a response and giving that response to your end user. So it looked through the question, looked through all the knowledge base articles, and is now giving a very, very detailed answer to your end user, along with the sources as well. And I'll just say, okay, yeah, this seems like a good answer to me. It resolved my issue, and this was done. And this is again, very, very simple to set up. I'll just give a good rating as well, trying to keep my AI happy. This is like very simple for us to do. All I did was, oh, sorry, not in this project, it's in a different project. Um, all I did was just go and create a bunch of knowledge based articles here with all my policies. And even with, say, this limited number of documents that I've updated, my end users are able to get most of the answers that they need. And that essentially is the new AI improvement that we got inside Jira Service Management. At this point, I want to maybe jump to how you can now start setting up the assets side of things as well within Jira Service Management. But if there are any questions for the service desk setup and the service desk usage, please let me know. Okay, I will just then maybe quickly move on to the assets side of things. So the moment you log into assets, you will be asked to create something called a schema, and that's again very simple to do. You simply click on the create schema option, and you get a bunch of different templates again, from which to select. So right now my use case is I want to create a C schema or a CMDB which keeps a track and keeps an inventory of all my hardware assets, my phones, laptops, etc. And that is what I want to do for my employees. So it's very simple. I just click on use template. I just maybe enter a schema name here. Maybe my company name is Acme, and I just say something like IT asset management, and my schema gets created. Now, what you will see is that um, a very basic framework for the entire schema has been created here, which is something that we call as object types. Each individual laptop, each individual human can be an object, and they will fit into one of these object types as you want. You can also create more, or you can edit some of these as you want. So now there are two, three ways. In fact, there are maybe 4 or 5 different ways through which you can start ingesting data into your assets schemas. One of them is obviously to do it manually. So maybe I say something like phone. So let me just create a very basic thing here. So I'm just going to say something like, Aditya's phone is basically my phone. I don't know, maybe my tag is something like 123, serial number could be 456. My model name is, I don't know if it's there, Android. Oops, sorry for the typo. And I basically click on create. And that creates my object here. But obviously, if you have an organization of hundreds of employees who have a lot of different devices like phones, laptops, printers, servers, then it is obviously not easy for you to do this way. There are other ways to now import your assets objects as well. One of them is via CSV. So what I've basically done here is that I've just preloaded a CSV of all my assets objects. Um, Let me try to bring that up to show you what that looks like. Oops, I think my screen share stopped. So just give me 1 second. Yes. Yeah, so I just upload some form of a CSV like this, which basically tells me this. Like every row is basically one object or one device, right? Like what is a laptop, what is a model, who was it assigned to, and so on and so forth. What I've simply done is that I've just uploaded that CSV here, and it's just now at a ready to run thing. So I just click on import data, and this takes I think this happens really quickly. So I think the moment this happens here, I just go back here to my thing, and I see that yes, there were 1,000 objects within my CSV, and all those 1,000 rows have come in here as individual objects. So now that becomes super simple for me to start working with the assets as well. So again, right, within a matter of minutes, I've been able to get on board into assets. I will now move to the demo for the operations side of things. If anyone has any questions, feel free to stop me. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, cool. So now when we've spoken about operations, okay, I think.
Hi, Mani. Someone has a question.
Oh yes, please tell me.
Okay, I have a question in the customer level. So can you show us on how to do service level agreement so that you can prioritize on some customers more than the less? Let's say you have like around 20 to 30 customers, then you want to prioritize for maybe your first 10 customers.
Okay, sorry, I was not able to understand the question properly. Was the question around service level agreements and what the end customer sees?
Yes, so like you want to, when the customers they need support, so you have a priority for the maybe for certain customers. Then if one customer is have more service level agreement than the other, so when their tickets are list, so the customer with the high service level agreement will be the first to be solved or assisted.
Got it. Okay, so I think let me just try to maybe interpret your question. So you're saying that you probably have a few different customers and you want to prioritize some customer over the other, right? Is that kind of accurate what you're saying? Sorry, there's some probably issue on the audio side.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that is also pretty simple to do. So as there is actually a different way to do that. So you can now create all your customers here as well, and also maybe assign them to different organizations. And within these organizations, you can have different kind of SLAs to them also. So maybe one of my organization is Nike, the other is Adidas, maybe something else. So I will be able to say that very easily that Nike is maybe a premium customer, so their SLA should be 1 hour. However, Adidas is probably a standard customer, so maybe their SLA should be 6 hours. That is again very simple for you to do from inside the project settings page. Let me just show you how that is done. So over here, right? So you are able to add some filters over here. So as you can see, when it says ticket category, incidents, and things like that, you can also say when organization equals Nike or organization equals Adidas, what should your SLA be? So again, from using this very simple to use, low code, no code space, you should be able to do that. Did that answer your question? Actually, I'll tell you one more thing that you can do. When we came in here, right, when we had come in here as the agent, we came into something called queues. I'm so sorry, zoom in a bit. Sorry, my bad. Let me zoom in a bit. There are queues and there are default queues, and all of them. These queues are nothing but the categorization of your different tickets. You can even start creating customer level queue, saying that customer one, this is their queue, customer two, this is their queue, and you can even manage them separately, which means that you probably have different teams looking at the tickets raised by different customers. So that again is something that will help you basically split your entire service management use case across all your customers. So I hope that was a useful answer. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to answer them as well.
Yeah.
Hi, Aditya. So you said you still can't get the where you have the SLAs and where you prioritize those SLAs.
Where do they get utilized? Okay, good question. They basically get utilized here. So when you look at any um, ticket like this, the first thing that you see over here is this SLA page. This SLA widget. Because this is a very a new project, we don't have all the SLAs here. So for example, now I've just gone to a different project where I have some older tickets. Here I see that this SLA was supposed to be September 7th. Obviously it's not more than 8 months since then, but I think this will give you a good idea. This has now become red, and now this is basically telling me that, hey, this is already out of your SLA. Why don't you go look into this? So that is where it helps your agents to basically know what should I prioritize and which ticket should I pick up first. If there is some ticket where the SLA can be something like it can be taken in 2 days, then why will you pick that up now? You will probably want to prioritize the items that need to be finished in the next 2 hours, right? The other way that this actually helps is that imagine you are a service team that is paid on the basis of the number of or say the performance that you bring to the table, right? One of the metric that you are judged on is how efficiently are you answering all the questions that come to your teams. And when I say efficiently, it means are you able to solve it within the SLAs that you have promised, or are you solving it much later? Like for example, in this case, if say my agents are solving tickets that should have been solved by 7 September of last year, then that's a problem, right? Then obviously my agents are not doing a good job. In fact, they're doing a very horrible job. However, if 100% of their tickets are solved within that threshold time or that SLA, then that really tells me that, okay, my team is doing a good job and maybe they deserve a bonus this year. So that is like another use case of where SLAs can play a huge part. Right. So I hope that answer was also helpful. Um, are there any more questions? I do have one more quick demo to show you for the ops side of things. Um, so maybe I'll just quickly do that right now, and then maybe we can. I think that's also probably like the end of my session after this demo. So, as you were speaking about earlier, in the first part of the first section of this talk, is that um, operations is nothing but looking at the alerts and the alerts and the incidents and the issues proactively within your tech stack and trying to respond to them. So the first thing that you should probably do within JSM when you come in is you will just want to maybe create a team. So I've already created a team here, which was I think I created, yeah. I created a Nairobi event team, and I've added my trusted companions of John Doe and Sally Brown here. I just click on go to operations, and the first thing now that I see is this screen over here. What you do want to ensure is that you have a very strong on-call over here. So on-call is nothing but basically a rotating roster of people who will be given a notification for any alert that comes in. Think of it like in the case of even say a medical hospital, there are always doctors on call 24/7. In any time when a patient comes in, maybe they have an emergency, maybe they have a scheduled checkup, it could be anything. There is always some or the other doctor there who will actually try to help them out. That is the concept for software teams as well, for such response teams also. You always need somebody to respond to your alerts. And you can set that on call from here very, very easily. There's one that we create by default, but we can easily go in and edit it. We create something called rotations. As you can see, if say maybe this is say, I just zoom out a bit, you can see that in a periodic fashion for like 1 week I am on call, 1 week John Doe is on call, the third week Sally Brown is on call. In case you want to change this to say maybe a daily kind of situation and not a weekly thing, you can do that as well. Now you see that on a daily basis, my on-call schedules are also changing. So it's very simple for you to do that again from this page. Now the question is, when we spoke about that previous scenario, let me just go back there very quickly, which is this scenario, right? That you are the on-call responder here, but you want to know what is going on here in the software or the hardware system. So how do you basically traverse this entire situation or this entire journey? For that, you need something called integrations. Your integrations are basically with any of these monitoring tools that I spoke about, like New Relic, Datadog, Splunk, etc. And if you go down this list, you'll have a lot of different options. So for now, let me just create a very simple email integration here, and also maybe call it email integration, and maybe call it the 12th July email integration. And I click on continue. I just click on turn on integration. And now basically this is the email address to which I need to send any alert. Let me just on a different page somewhere. Let me try to open this up. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So I'm just going to send this email now to that email address, and maybe say something like, server is down again, 12th July. And I'm going to paste that same thing here and click on send. And the moment I click on send, now I go back to the screen where I have my teams. I just click on alerts over here and see all my alerts. Okay, that alert is not coming yet. Yes, I now see this alert. This alert has come. This is the same alert that I just sent. As you can see, it's 9:12 on my system, and it's also 9:12 in the alert. And every information that I had put within the alert has also come in here. And then this follows that same process of going from open to acknowledge to close, etc. And I can also define all my SLAs and everything else over here. So, okay, so now basically with this, I just maybe stop talking, and because I know that this has probably been a very loaded session. I've gone through a lot of different items in today's session over the last 1 hour. But yeah, I hope this was helpful to all of you. I do want to end with a couple of thoughts. One second. Oops, sorry. Yes. One thing that I will encourage all of you in the room is that if you want to learn a bit more about the world of ITSM, there's a fantastic book called Service Desk Superhero, which really has helped me understand a lot more about the world of service management. It's a very easy to understand book. And within Atlassian community as well, there are a lot of different courses and learning paths that you can take up for free, which basically help you get on board into the domain of service management, and also help you with understanding more about Jira service management in particular. And with that, I'll also maybe ask if any of you have any questions. And I'm just going to flash this QR code also on the screen. This is a QR code to my LinkedIn profile. I'll be more than happy to have any of you connect with me and ask me questions on LinkedIn as well. More than happy to answer any questions there. But yeah, so with that, I probably will stop and see if anyone has any questions. All right, that's not a problem. No questions is also fine. But I really hope that this was a good and useful session for all of you. Thank you so much for attending this session. Thank you so much to the community team once again for organizing such events. I think it's really, really important that we keep having these events a lot. So yeah, back to you then, Michael. Yeah, okay. Maybe probably Michael's not in the room. Okay. Well, thank you everyone. This was fun. I'll probably drop from the call then, and I'll see you all of you later on. Oh, I think Michael's back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had two questions actually.
Now with the emergence of AI, that is Atlassian Intelligence, robot, is there a way you can incorporate that to one, populate frequently asked questions and build a knowledge base around some of the requests so that it reduces some of the questions, and two, also to make the work of admin much easier when it comes to handling some of the requests that are coming internally.
Yes, actually, that's a good question. That was so basically we have AI interventions for both sides of the help desk portal. One side is your help seeker who asks the question, and the other side is the agent who looks at the question and responds to it. We saw a very quick demo where the agent, uh, right, where the agent can ask a question, and using the documentation with that you enter into JSM, you're able to generate answers and basically give it to them. So that basically eliminates the need for a human agent to look at it. And even if a question does seep through and go to the human agent finally, there are also ways within Jira Service Management for that agent to see, okay, maybe this kind of question has already come, and there's a panel there that helps you to say, here are some of the recently asked questions which are similar to this. So maybe this will help you out in answering those questions. So the answer is yes. There are AI interventions for both of these kind of use cases.
All right, thank you so much. I don't know if there is a question. Please come. Any other question? You can also. Yes.
Please yourself and then
Hey,
you have to be close to the mic.
Hey, Aditya.
Hi.
My name is Brian Gila. So I have a simple question. Can you leverage ML to prioritize the tickets?
Sorry, could you please repeat your question? I was not able to hear it clearly.
How can I leverage machine learning to prioritize tickets?
Sorry, how can you? I'm really sorry to ask you to repeat it again.
How can I leverage machine learning?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
To
to prioritize
tickets, right? Okay. That's a good question. So, uh, what we have today is something called Rovo and Atlassian Intelligence, which are our LLMs that we've created, and basically our AI products that you can use. What you can basically do is, as I said, right, there are two three things that you can do that you get out of the box. One is this thing called the suggested panel, which tells you exactly how you can try to solve your tickets. The other is using Robo. You can now create your own AI agents as well. So the moment you go to Robo and then you say, hey, I want maybe an AI agent to help out with such kind of tickets, maybe some sort of FAQ kind of tickets as well, that agent will be able to go and get all the answers for you and basically reduce the amount of time you're spending on solving these tickets.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question.
Yeah, so thank you so much. If there are no more questions, please give a round of applause to. So thank you so much, Aditya, and you're welcome to join our community once again. It was a really great presentation. Have a good day.
Cool. Thank you. Have a good day to everyone. I hope you have a lot of fun. Take care.